This is the main area of our tip line.
Here, at their Winnipeg headquarters, cybertip analysts are seeing a stark increase in tips from the public for one particular kind of online abuse.
Right now, we're averaging about anywhere between 8 and 10 sextortion incidents per day.
Sextortion is the act of threatening to share someone's nude or explicit photos or videos publicly, in most cases for money.
Hey, I have your nudes and everything enough to destroy you. If you block, I'll have no other choice than to send, as I have a screenshot of all your followers.
They're actually counting down saying, I didn't care about your life and career, bro. 19, 18, 17, 16, all in separate messages, and then escalating the threats. As you can see, the victim is really begging with them, like, please stop.
CBC News has learned over the past 15 months, scammers have used Instagram and Snapchat to facilitate sextortion far more than any other messaging app. Most victims targeted are 14 to 24-year-old males, and there's a reason for that.
They are looking to gain quick access to money. Boys would be sort of their go-to because they're more impulsive, they're more likely, I guess you could say, to really engage in that sexual communication right off the bat.
I imagine that they're not worried about their money. They want to get this money to this person.
Well, who wants their parent to see a picture of their penis, right?
It said, if you do not send me this money now, you will be exposed online.
2 years ago, then 19-year-old Kyle, not his real name, got a demand for $500 after sharing an intimate video on his phone.
He sent me a screenshot with over hundreds of friends and family that he was threatening me that if I don't send him more, that he will expose me.
What were you feeling at that moment?
My family members were all asleep and I was crying in my room, and at that point I felt very hopeless.
Others have also felt hopeless, too hopeless to go on. 17-year-olds using Snapchat and Instagram, looking forward to graduating. 16 and 15-year-olds on WhatsApp and Facebook, barely into high school. All boys who won't reach adulthood because extorters played on their fears.
What do parents need to know about sextortion?
This isn't a parenting problem. We're confident that parents are really doing everything that they can to keep their kids safe. I think we really need to turn to looking at what these platforms, what their role is in these types of situations and what they could be doing to better protect kids on their platforms.
The messaging app that Kyle used is called Kik. Created in Canada, now owned by Media Lab in the US, Kik is popular with teenagers because they can be anonymous, which also makes them a vulnerable target.
They can create a fake email, make a fake age, and enter any group chat that they like. So imagine how many people underage are using these apps and are being exposed to this.
Stephen Sauer has been with CyberTip since its inception. He says he's reached out to platforms about what they could be doing to protect youth.
We've talked about things like age verification, making sure that they have mechanisms to detect inappropriate conversations between youth and adults.
How hard would that be for them to make changes?
We know that they target advertising towards users of certain ages and age demographics. So they obviously have that data. They gather as much as that as possible. They just aren't utilizing it to safeguard the individuals.
Is it even possible to not have these images being sent at the first place?
At this school in the UK, they've got a plan to prevent sextortion.
The whole idea is that through natural language processing, it is actually possible to identify when the conversation, which is an erotic conversation, is actually going towards blackmailing, right? So the whole fine line is not to intrude people's privacy, but to still actually raise an alert, raise a flag.
Why isn't there that urgency on the part of the platforms to implement these into their systems?
These companies are profit-making companies, right? So they will definitely put profit over public safety.
We asked Kik, Meta, and Snap what they're doing to prevent sextortion on their platforms. Kik's parent company, Media Lab, says they're consulting with various organizations to enhance their protective measures. Snap and Meta said they've started rolling out safeguards that can make it harder for strangers to contact teens. And Meta also says they have a notification system that warns teens when suspicious accounts contact them. Snap says they're beginning to issue similar warnings.
But with nearly 4,000 reports of sextortion in the last year, experts say these measures are just not enough. And it will take regulation to ensure all the platforms bring in effective preventative measures.
There's no liability for companies that operate a tool that allows youth to be victimized on that platform. They are not responsible for that in any way. And so I think regulation is kind of the key to this at this point.
For Kyle, he decided to fight back. He used his extorters' money transfer details to track down their country and real name, which scared them off.
You can choose to stand up, and no matter what the consequence, know that there's still going to be someone in your life that's going to support you.
CyberTip's advice? Reach out for help and report it.
Block them, don't communicate, don't pay the money is really important because we know from experience that the threats don't stop.